$200 silver. We want to learn about that. And I've got all the info for you today because no other, right, than the esteemed, the reviled Mr. Eric Sprott mentioned that lately. And we're going to talk about what he means by $200 per ounce silver. But we got more. Yes, an exclusive here in Ron's basement from our friend in Ireland, the Irish Brain. He came up with an idea regarding silver that could also easily contribute to the price skyrocketing above $100 and maybe even approaching that $200 range that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to tell you about a little story about an observation that I made last night when I was with my daughter Lillian. We'll get into that. But first, let's talk about the gold market and the silver market. Before I hopped on, I checked the spot price for gold was near $2,070 per ounce. I'll correct myself. That was about an hour ago. We know how these markets could go, right? Heck, right now, the gold price could be $1,970, but as of an hour ago, we have $2,070 per ounce silver. Hallelujah! Party time, right? That's not $2,500 like we have on the old gold bear there. His blindfold does come off when gold gets to $2,500. Smitty, the silver bear, right? He gets his blindfold taken off at $85 silver. But guys, still, we had $2,070 gold. I'm sorry, it's not all that bad. Silver hovering right around $24.22. I've heard CoinShop Chris say this. I've heard other top analysts say this. What does the number $26 say about silver? I've also heard, and my feeling is $26.50 range. Once we get above that, we could be off to the races. And when we get above $32, $33 per ounce silver, that is, for all intensive purposes, in my opinion, new all-time high range. I know silver reached $50 an ounce measured in unicorn fart test dollars a number of years ago, but I'm telling you guys, from a real perspective, right? We like to talk about nominal versus real on this channel. From a real perspective, once we get into that $32, $33 range for silver, we'll consider that to be new all-time high range, okay? Now, sure, we're looking for $60, $65, $45 silver next year. I think it can happen. Do you think it can happen? Do you think? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is again. Do you think we can get that $45 silver next year? Come on, do it. Type 45 into the public chat so I can see you're here, that you're paying attention, because I think everything is aligning for new all-time high prices in silver next year as well. Guys, we still have, and I'm hearing more and more people, I don't know, they must all be watching the basement, because we've been beating this drum, haven't we, guys? For like the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, this cup and handle drum, now everyone's talking about it. Oh, there's a cup and handle pattern in silver. Well, yeah, us basement dwellers, we've been talking about that for 6 weeks, 6 months for that. There's a massive cup and handle pattern in gold as well. And don't forget, I heard someone very important say this last night. Don't forget, I got to remind you something, my fellow basement dwellers, precious metals lovers that we are. We did have a new all-time high in gold. What, just 3 weeks ago? We had a new all-time high, right? We are bumping up, and gold is remaining strong. Silver is remaining strong. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the rest of this year plays out, right? We still have 2.5 trading days, but then as we head into 2024, I think the prospects look very, very bright. What do you think? Did we get some 45s? 100! Noel Powell, very funny. Very funny. Hey, thank you guys for being here. I almost forgot to beg you. This is the part where I beg. Will you please give this a thumbs up? It'd be much appreciated. You might have to minimize your screen to see it, but it looks like this. It's usually down there below, and that helps get the word out to more and more people. Okay, thank you for doing it. We appreciate it. It's like a virtual hug. It's free, and on Ron's Basement, we like free stuff. I like free stuff. I like things value, right? That's why we love silver and gold. Silver is the ultimate value right now. But even saying that, I struggle sometimes. I'm just being honest with you guys. I've been a silver stacker for decades and decades. And even now, when I know silver is such a great value, and I guess we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket, but I still have this struggle to keep buying more. I don't know. But then when I think about but then does this happen to you? Then you think about do I want to have, four $100 paper bills that I hold on to? Or would I rather have whatever that would be, 16 ounces of silver? When you take a step back and think about it, right? And then do you also have this happen? I've shared this story with you guys many times where it was like 3 summers ago when I first started buying the 40% half dollars. And I went to my local coin shop and I bought them and I had them in this bag and they were heavy and I got them home and I set them on the kitchen table. And I thought, why did I do this? Wow. What am I doing? What's wrong with me? Why am I continuing? I had that buyer's remorse after I bought it, converted. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to use the C word here in the basement. But then the good news is over time, every time I've bought silver, maybe there's a little bit of a hesitation. I don't know, maybe I buy too much. I don't know. Anyway, that I always wind up thinking, you know what? I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did that. So let's talk quickly about the economy, and then we're going to get into $200 silver by our old friend Eric Sprott himself. And this is fascinating. $200 silver? You've heard of Sprott? Sprott Asset Management? Oh, yeah, and then we're going to talk about the Irish Guru. That's a Ron's Basement exclusive from our friend Mr. Ryan. Wait till you hear this. But let's just talk about how great the economy is. So last night I took my daughter Lily. I don't know if you do this. Well, my twin daughters are 11 years old. I make a list of things I want to do with them over Christmas break. And then if I am able to do a third or even half of them, I guess it's a success. It's better than nothing. One of which was to go to this place. There's this old man in St. Louis. His name's Dan, and he has this thing called Dan's Emerald Forest. And he lives about 15 minutes from me in an old neighborhood in a real middle-class part of St. Louis. But a part of St. Louis that I like is called Overland. You can look this thing up online. It's called Dan's Emerald Forest. Well, over the last 25 years, he's built an outdoor in his front yard, this massive outdoor, it's called G scale. I asked him last night, garden scale, outdoor railroad. And it's all Christmas oriented, and it is first class. And he does this all for free. Okay, so I always I didn't go last year, and he can only run it when it's not raining and the wind's not blowing too much. Anyway, last night he ran it. I took my daughter Lily. It's beautiful, right? Dan's Emerald Forest. You guys give Dan a shout out. He's a good guy, and he has hot chocolate for everybody and candy for the kids. He's just a nice, really genuine, good old guy. Well, anyway, we're driving home, and we were going to pick up some food. And I'm going down this is about the economy. Remember, when the economy really crashes, when Joe realized it's not working, we got trouble. We're driving home on this road in St. Louis called Page. Page. I don't know why they called it Page. They should have named it, Ron. Anyway, we're driving down Page, and I'm hungry. Okay, so I'm looking at all these, and there is every fast food restaurant man has ever created on Page Boulevard. We had to drive down 5 miles of it. Okay, all right, we drove by McDonald's, Popeyes, Wendy's, Sonic, Rally's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell. I mean, just imagine every fast food restaurant ever made, and then a bunch of other restaurants too, unique little small places. All the way down this road. I'm telling you something. And it was 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Granted, it was, I guess, the day after Christmas. Every one of those restaurants was open and empty. I mean, dead empty. I was just in shock. I'm like, look, There's nobody in Wendy's. There's nobody in Taco Bell. There's nobody in Popeyes. There's nobody in any of these restaurants on Page Boulevard last night. It was like I thought, did something happen? I'm telling you guys, as we head into the next year, there's a reason why Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve is becoming dovish. It's because we're having deflation. You know what that does? That's going to make the Fed freak. When the Fed freaks, they print money. They create more unicorn fart dust, paper dollars, whatever you want to call it. It is the most supportive environment for the price of silver and gold, okay? All right, let's talk about Eric Sprott. You know who Eric Sprott is. He's like the king of precious metals. He started Sprott, right? The big Canadian, PSLV. That's the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. Many of you are familiar with that. Sprott is like the most respected company, management company, investing company in the precious metals. They have a uranium trust. They have a gold trust. They have the PSLV, which is we can buy here in the United States, which is they don't call it an ETF. They call it a trust, I guess. And it's not called a share. It's called a unit. Anyway, it's 100% absolutely backed by physical metal, PSLV, the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. Wait till you hear who the granddaddy of it all, right? The king, Eric Sprott, had to say about the silver price. We're going to get into that as soon as I have a little sip of coffee and wave to you while I'm doing it. Okay, I'm back. Here's what Sprott said. And he does very rare interviews now. He was talking to Craig Hemke, who, if you've been around precious metals for a while, also know he's a legendary guy who's been in this for decades and decades, okay? Eric Sprott, okay? Oh, which is very interesting. Let's start off with this. He talked about the Silver Institute and how the Silver Institute reports that we had, a 237 million ounce silver deficit last year. Ounces, dollars, whatever. Well, there's a big difference. Almost 250 million ounce deficit in silver last year. But then Eric Sprott did something very interesting. He brought up our friend at the Silver Academy, our friend John Little's organization. And the Silver Academy has said that next year, when the Silver Institute puts out its numbers about silver supply and demand, and it's expected that we'll have another deficit, right, for 2023 that'll be reported in March or April. Eric Sprott himself said that the Silver Academy will be then issuing their report based on the Silver Institute's report, but also accounting for other demand for silver that currently is not being reported in the Silver Institute's report. Things like military and other aspects that a lot of people are claiming is being missed by the Silver Institute, okay? Then Eric brought up this, and we're not going to go down, don't worry. Don't you worry, basement dwellers. We're not going to go down the solar rabbit hole. But he brought up the fact that solar is now using, two times more silver on an annual basis. And I made a huge mistake. I apologize to all of you. We've reached 100 thumbs up. Bell warning. 1, 2, 3. That was the beginning of Jingle Bells, for those of you that didn't pick it up. Thank you. We got 300 people here. We got a lot more to talk about. An exclusive from the Irish brain himself, Mr. Ryan. But right now, we're talking about Eric Sprott and $200 silver. If you enjoy talking about silver and how it's going to explode in price and we're all going to get rich, now seriously, there's no guarantee of that. We're just looking at the big picture. We might get rich. I think we will, but we might not also as well. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything that I'm saying to you today. But however, if you enjoy being here, I enjoy having you. It's free to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already, okay? We're trying to get to 31,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's a big race, and if we don't get there, who knows? But, we might become very depressed. We put out new content every day. We want you to come back. Feel like you're one of us, because you are. Right now, if you're here, you're a basement dweller. Congratulations. Please subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss anything. Now, Eric Sprott, he said, right? Solar. It's using like 2 times. Like that was like zero demand for silver 10 years ago. Now, the numbers are everywhere. You're hearing, 200 million ounces. I don't know. It's a ton of silver. And the new technology, this came from the guru himself, Eric Sprott, using like twice as much silver per panel. And we know there's multiples as we go into the next 10 years. Each panel uses a lot more silver. That's the new technology, each panel. But on top of that, there's a lot more panels being made. Excuse me. That means there's a lot more silver that's going to be demanded. Okay, period. He brought up electric vehicles, right? That was nothing 10 years ago. Look at all the silver being used in electric vehicles. What about electric trains? What about electric school buses? What about space? What about AI? All this stuff is adding up, and Eric Sprott is recognizing it. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Then he mentioned $200 silver, okay? He said he likes to follow a guy named Mike Oliver. Hold on one second. I had a little tickle in my throat. I apologize. Do you know who Mike Oliver is? All right, he's super respected. He's a guy. He brings up the fact that gold bull markets usually have a 6, 7, 8x return. Okay, the current market we're in for gold, this has to do with silver, started, 2015, 2016, started at about $1,000 per ounce gold. We could be in for $8,000 gold. That's a little bonus feature for you, okay? And if we get $8,000 gold, Eric Sprott said it wouldn't surprise me to see $200 silver. But then you know what he said? And I agree with him on this. I don't know how you feel about this. He said, but hey, when we get to $50 silver, things are going to be real good. But guys, when we get to $50, $40, $50 silver, from there, it's going to be boom, boom time, okay? It's going to fly, absolutely. We know Keith Neumeyer talks about triple-digit silver, $100 silver. We're just like the dam getting ready to break right now. And when it breaks, it's going to move very, very fast. And it will be that situation where you're already sitting on some silver. That silver you bought that maybe you were like me. You bought some silver and you thought, oh gosh, that was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have bought so much silver. If and when that dam breaks, you're going to be sitting around saying, thank God I bought all that silver. Now, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. Don't make investment decisions based upon common sense and facts and figures and mathematics. Maybe you want to keep your money in paper. Maybe you like the way that paper feels in your hands, those pretty pictures with that green ink, and it's not even paper, it's satin or whatever, But if you do want to get your hands on some silver, gold, right, or platinum right now, let's say thank you to our channel sponsor, Pimbex, Pimbex. They've got silver, they have gold, they have platinum, and you can go there, check it out, do your own work, all right? Check it out for yourself. Read about the company, read reviews from other people. I'll give you my review. My review is I've had great experiences with Pimbex before they were a channel sponsor. I was just a normal, everyday customer, right? Now they've sponsored my channel, so I'm happy to report I was very happy. I can also tell you I've received nothing but positive feedback from basement dwellers who did what I said you may want to consider doing, going and checking out Pimbex, that they've had great experiences as well. Their prices are always great, their selection's great, and the customer service is great. Check them out, Pimbex, Pimbex.com. And don't forget, they do IRA conversions. Also, thank you. Somebody gave me a super chat. Craig Edmonds. Good morning. Clifton Moberg. Happy times. Yeah. Please know. Okay. Yeah, we don't curse in Ron's basement because you know why? One reason, right? Like this little guy, Ashton, who Santa Claus came here and talked to the other day. Some kids, little kids, like to watch the show. I know Jake has a baby. We don't want to infect anyone's ears with nasty words. There's no benefit to that. You know, we can get our point across. Trust me, if you're anything like me, I do plenty of cursing when I'm not live here in the basement. Just ask Susie. Susie, do I ever curse? Never. No, I'm just always happy, joyous, and free. Okay, where was I? Okay, all right, here we go. $50 silver's okay. That's what Eric Sprott said, yeah. And then he brought up this. He said 12 to 1. I've heard 7 to 1. Guys, there's only, for each 1 ounce of gold that comes out of the ground, do you realize there's 7 ounces of silver? Eric Sprott said 12, but it makes no sense. Explain it to me, please. Explain to me how 1 ounce of gold comes out of the ground every year and only 7 ounces of silver come out of the ground, but you need 85 ounces of silver measured in unicorn fart dust U.S. paper dollars that maybe you like to hold, maybe you don't, whatever, but you need 85 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold, okay? And this never gets used. Those 7 ounces, most of it gets put into solar panels, anything that's electric. It doesn't make any sense, and Sprott talked about that as well. We're in for a big year. Big year. Are you ready for a big year? 2024, right? Hemke said it. Eric Sprott said it. We're going to say it. Let's all say it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Big year. Who thinks we're in for a big year in precious metals? Can anybody? Huh? Wow. You guys are blowing me away. Huh? Big year. I sure would like to see that. Yeah, Annie Oakley, Sassy Silver, BY, Daniel, good to see you. Coin Shop Chris, Jake, Susie. The numismatic. Huh? All right. Sassy Silver, 314. Silver. Eric's Tax. Yes. Big year, big year, big year. Jake from Jake Custom Parts. Man, you guys are awesome. What else? There was something else just came into my mind. Darn it. That we were just talking about. Oh, well, it'll come back. Don't worry. Don't leave. Oh, yeah, guys, let's get to 200 thumbs up. Then I'll ring the cowbell. That wasn't what I thought of, but that's important. And don't forget to subscribe. We'll beg. Final beg for subscribing. If you could subscribe, it would help us get to our goal by the end of the year. And you can be a big part of the basement, right? That's the big deal. I'm going to repeat this, okay? Because Eric Sprott repeated it. We had an all-time high in gold. Gold is the trend setter for silver, okay? Listen. We had an all-time high for gold 3 weeks ago. We have gold, before I came on, sitting at $2,070 per ounce, $2,070 per ounce. We get above $2,100 gold and we stay there, and you know that by May we will have $2,600 gold and we will have silver well into the $30 range, maybe even going for the 40s. That's the rosy scenario. No guarantees, but you know, it's crazy. From the year 2000 to the year 2008. You want some more good news from Eric Sprott? He talked about how a lot of the mining stocks were up 1,400%. That's only 14 times, okay? I missed the super chat. I will get to that. Also, and guys, you know, we beat the table on this over and over again. In the 70s, we've had returns in gold price, silver price, gold and silver mining stock prices, which I can't, whatever they were, 20 times, 15 times. Some of the mining stocks during the 70s went up 50 times, right? That means like if you had $1,000 in this little mining stock in the 70s, it could have gone from $1,000 to 50,000 or 100,000. Now, again, those were extraordinary returns, but don't we talk about this? I mean, think about the situation we're in now is so much more extreme, so much worser. Is worser a word? I don't think it is. More scary, more petrifying right now than where we were in 1971 when President Nixon temporarily took us off the gold standard and ushered in this unbelievable decade that we had in the silver and gold price. We're in worse shape now. So could the returns possibly be even more extreme? I don't know. I'm asking you. I'm asking Eric Sprott, right? Could we see returns now like we saw in the 70s? I would like to ask Eric Sprott that because I think I have the utmost of respect for the man and he was around during that period. How come nobody's talking about that? Why are we basement dwellers the only people talking about that? Okay. Number one, in the 70s, we had unbelievable returns in the metals and the mining stocks. Number two, the situation we're in now is very similar, but the difference between now and then is that things have escalated like never before. Have you looked at the Debt Clock website? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's all make-believe fantasy land money. And now we're heading into deflation and the Fed. It's just a big. And when I drove down Page Boulevard last night, there was nobody at Popeyes. The one night I could go to Popeyes and not have to wait in line. I mean, what the heck is going on, huh? We are heading toward tough economic times, no doubt about it. Let me give you want to hear what Eric Sprott thinks is going on with the economy? A little different than what we typically talk about. He thinks the big factor that's killing the economy, why there was nobody in those fast food restaurants last night, right? When I drove through the fast food hall of fame, and I was hungry at the same time. You ever do that? When you get hungry, everything looks good? Anyway, he says people had $2.1 trillion in savings after the C-19 crisis. That money's gone, okay? Student loan repayments have restarted, okay? That's the second thing he went to. And he talks about sit back for a second. Is this robbery or what? Are you being robbed? Are you one of the people who's allowing yourself to be robbed? And if you are, as your friend, and all the other basement dwellers will tell you, I hope, the same thing. Are you allowing yourself right now to be robbed? Right? I know Joe Biden will say, it's working. It's working. Go watch Netflix. Don't worry about it. It's working. But are you being robbed right now? Because interest rates on credit cards are near 30%. If you're carrying a credit card balance and you are paying 30% interest, there's no other way to say it. You, my friend, are being robbed by JP Morgan Chase, by Discover, by American Express, by Dick's Sporting Goods, whoever, because those rates on those cards issued by retailers are even worse. Okay? You are being robbed. If you're paying 30% interest, you need to do everything you can to pay those cards off. Please. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. That's a mathematic certainty. You're not going to get very unlikely you're going to get more than 30% return on that money, no matter what you put it in. Do not allow yourself to get robbed. And Sprott mentioned that. He didn't say the rob. That's what I got all made up about. Okay, this is interesting. This is the final point that I want to share with you from Eric Sprott, the king, right? The guru of gurus, right? The great-grandfather of silver and gold and precious metal mining stock investing. And this has to do with the metals themselves and the miners. So I think this is critical. They were asking him about the big mining companies, the big Newmonts and Barricks and all those, the big massive gold mining, silver mining companies. He said they can't maintain their production. Okay, and I don't have the specific numbers, but it was like, if you look at how many ounces these big miners produced 10 years ago and you compare it to today, it's going down, down, down. Now, what does that mean? Guys, that means the supply of silver, the supply of gold is going down. When the supply goes down and demand maintains or goes up, the price goes up. And that's the environment that we are in right now. It's hard to find, or even harder now because of a number of issues, to produce silver and gold. That's a fact, right? I talked to Jorge Ganoza. I talked to the Dan Welton. I've talked to Sean Kuhn from Dolly Varden Silver. I talked with, all these names. There's Galen McNamara from Suma Silver, John Lee from Silver Elephant. I've talked to, these are the CEOs. They all say the same thing. Silver and gold is the same for true, but we love our silver, is so hard to find. And to find it in economic quantities, right, that makes sense to be developed is even much, 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 much harder. And I did a video a couple days ago about some of the silver development companies that I like, silver development companies that have silver in the ground. We aren't going to go through that. Now, if you want a good gold development story, go check out First Mining Gold, www.firstmininggold.com. Only 13 million ounces of gold in the ground in Canada. Nonetheless, we're almost to 200 thumbs up. We're going to talk about the Irish brain, right? This is an exclusive here in Ron's basement. And he brought up something regarding silver that I've never thought of. I mean, that, like I've said, guys, that's how we benefit each other, is by sharing our ideas. He did some really interesting research and brought up a point about silver, a potential that I'd never thought of, and a statistic that blew me away about silver. Oh, we got our 200 thumbs up. It's time to ring the ding-a-ling bell. This is the bell warning. This one is particularly loud, and this one is for you. Let's go, silver! One more for Jake. Okay. I ring the bells at the Bears to wake them up, remind them that, yeah, when gold gets to 2,500, and it's going to happen, guys, and when silver gets to 85, and when platinum gets to 2,500, right, that we will take those blindfolds off, and it's going to be a big day and a big party. Let's talk about what our friend Mr. Ryan, right, the Irish, all the way from Ireland. And don't forget, Coin Shop Chris will come to Ireland. When we do, our Coin Shop Chris is a very active, very critical part of Ron's basement. You can see him here in the chat. And we're going to go on a world tour when silver hits $85. We'll be coming to your town, and we'll be begging for you to let us park our RV in your driveway and maybe see if you could cook us a little food while you're at it. Either that or Coin Shop Chris is going to cook, or we'll be eating a lot of hot dogs. Favorite food here in Ron's basement. We love our hot dogs. Okay, let's talk about what our Irish brain said about silver that I'd never thought of, okay? This is from our friend Mr. Ryan. He says, and then I'm going to tell you what this means to me. He said, consider silver as a productive asset like land, right? That's always the knock on silver and gold. Oh, you can't, it doesn't produce anything. It doesn't. I say it's a battery. Bald Guy Money and I came up with that, or he came up with it. I kind of hijacked it. Anyway, silver is like a battery, not just to store energy, it's used in batteries, but to store value. It's like a value battery. But nonetheless, could it be a productive asset like land? Why, you may wonder, is this the case? Are you wondering? Well, Mr. Ryan has an answer for you. Land in use has a return on investment, such as rent paid or profit from crop cultivation. And land not in use, being scarce, is still valuable and can appreciate in value as demand for land and its uses remains. Silver, though, for example, that is owned in photovoltaic investments, gives the owner of that silver decades of investment returns. Now, let's take a step back. I think what he's saying is that silver that's in solar panels is still there, right? The people that invest in solar panels, the big companies that invest in solar panels, build these big solar farms, they're stacking silver. They may not realize it, but they are. But here's what's super interesting that came into my mind. Could we be, as there's a massive shortage of silver, could we come to a point where, and I know some of you will hate this idea because you don't like anything electronic, but an idea where essentially if you have some silver that you could loan it, let's say, to a big solar company that's going to build out a massive solar farm. Let's say you give them 1,000 ounces of your silver. They take that silver, they put it, it's still yours, okay, but they put it into solar panels and they essentially, thank you for the super chat, Daniel. Man, we did have a great Christmas. It's been a wonderful Christmas. You still own the silver, but it's in those solar panels. Right? I know. And for people that are diehard, if you don't hold it, you don't own it type people, that won't be an attractive. But think about that. Or even some of the big tech companies or Tesla for their electric cars or whatever, like you are able to loan your silver to them and you get a return, right? 10% a year, whatever it might be, because we're going to get to a point in the world where there's just not enough silver to satisfy all of the demand needs. That you loan your silver to Tesla, you loan your silver to the massive solar, and you still own it, but they're paying you, and probably if it was done through a centralized system, it could be a system where if you want to get your silver back out at any time, that you would be able to do it. I don't know. Be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. CoinShop Chris just sent me something. Send that through again, Chris. I think we might have some breaking news here, folks. And, okay, so that's a very, we got to all keep our minds open, right? We talk about ABDCs, asset-backed digital currencies. Our friend Daniel Diaz at Citizens for Sound Money talks about that. Gold, 2093? What? Is gold up? Hold on, guys. Somebody tell me in the chat, is gold up? Is it a golden day? Huh? And no wonder the bear. Huh? Are we almost to 2,100? Oh my God, this is unbelievable. And we have 400 people here. Wow. Wowzers. Yes, on the futures. Thank you, Jake. So that's the futures price, 2,000. Wow, 93. Interesting. Can we get to 300? I don't know, guys. Can we get to 300 thumbs up today? Please give it a thumbs up. We got 400 people here. We got the gold price zooming. Okay. And then you know what I forget to mention? I got a couple. I'm going to get back to Mr. Ryan, the Irish Brain's second idea. The DXY index is at 101. Okay. I forgot to mention that earlier. And I got something else about this. It blows my mind. Does it blow your mind as well? We're going to talk about that. The dollar's going down, right? In relative terms, yes, the DXY is a relative measure of the dollar against a bunch of other crappy currencies. It's like comparing the, let's say there was where I work at night, during the summer, they have concert series. They always have a row of Johnny on the spots for all the concert goers to go potty. Okay, there's like 6 Johnny on the spots. The DXY is like the next morning after the concert, comparing the condition of those 6 Johnny on the spots. One's the US dollar, one's this just came into my mind. This is what happens down here. I need to get a new carbon monoxide detector, I guess. Anyway, one's the dollar, one's the yen, one's the euro, one, whatever. That's what the DXY is, okay? They're all crappy Johnny on the spots, but one of them's always going to be in the best condition the day after the concert. That's what the DXY is. So, sure, in relative terms, the dollar can go up and down. In real terms, I cannot express it to you any more clearly than this. Hold on, I'll be right back. Here. Right? Any more clearly than this, because that's a long-term chart that I drew for you by hands of the DXY. That's the dollar index from 1985 to up to today. Okay, it was at 105 when I did it. Look, oh my gosh, look, the dollar's actually been below, dollar index has been below 100 many times, only been up above 100 for this short period of time. But here's the kicker. This is why this should hopefully make this very clear to you, okay? So you're going to tell me that in 1990, let's say, the DXY, right, the dollar was at 90. So today the dollar's, 15% higher in value? Well, wouldn't that mean then that compared to 1990, like the Coin Shop Chris video with Home Alone, when little Kevin McAllister goes and buys $20 worth of groceries in 1990, if the dollar's gone up in value since 1990, measured in dollars, those groceries should have gone down. But they haven't. They've gone up 4 times. So the dollar, in real terms, is going down. I'm sorry I digress. Here's what blows my mind. When I go to Yahoo Finance, and I did it again this morning before I came on, Yahoo Finance, they have the Dow Jones, on the top bar, they have the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000. And right next to them, okay, because I was looking for the 10-year bond yield, which is also down. Anyway, right next to them. Why? Do you ever ask why? Why? I know you ask why. Why does Yahoo Finance, right next to those big indexes, the next thing they have? Silver and gold. And what really baffles me is silver, because the entire market cap of silver, right, is like 1/1,000,000th of the BS unicorn fart dust value of the S&P 500, but the amount of silver mined every year is like $25 billion at current prices compared to the entire market cap of the S&P 500, but they're right up there with it. Does that make you go, Yeah, it makes me go, Very interesting. I digress. You guys, this last stat that came from our hey, thank you, Ozman. Across the river. Where are you, Ozman? I'm telling you, you guys, if you ever come through St. Louis and want to come say hello, you're always welcome. Hold on, I missed a super chat here. Daniel, thank you. Wait a minute. I'm having technical difficulty. Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, no. Oh, shoot. Darn it. Nothing ever goes. Oh, wait. Can you hear me? I think. Hold on here. Thank you, Ozman. Thank you for the super chat. And yes. Okay. Thank you, Sassy Silver. Let's get on to this last point from Mr. Ryan, the Irish brain. Ryan McAdams, thank you. He says, consider this, my fellow basement dwellers, the democratic availability of silver. Even though, and I didn't realize this, only 1/10 of an ounce of silver is mined for every person on the planet each year. 1/10. I have a 1/10 ounce coin somewhere around here. It's tiny. 1/10 of an ounce is all the silver per person that's mined every year. Okay. Please, we're getting it today, folks. We're getting to 300 thumbs up. I'm begging you, please, give us a thumbs up. Every person can either own physical silver at current prices, that's key, or reasonably aspire to someday own silver, whoever they are and wherever they live, in order to invest in their future, independent of fiat currency risk. Okay, what a great point. Only 1/10 of 1 ounce is mined per year. And silver has been used as money longer than gold. Okay, only 1/10. So look at yourself. Okay, us basement dwellers, right? Us basement, there's over 400 of us, and 278 thumbs up. Thank you very much. 400, 1/10 of 1 ounce. That means for all, imagine a room, right? And we're in a virtual room. You're in my basement. All 400 of you. It would be a little crowded, no doubt about it. But imagine, instead of wherever you are right now, maybe you're in your car, maybe you're in your family room, maybe you're at your masseuse. I don't know where you are, whatever you're doing. It's none of my business. But nonetheless, if we did all come together, 400 people, maybe in a high school gymnasium, we'd probably fill the bleachers on one side. For all of us, over the course of 1 full year, okay, that would be 40 ounces of silver. Now, imagine if you had a tube of American Silver Eagles, which has 20 ounces. That would mean for all 400 of us sitting in the stands, right, in the basement, right, that would be 2 tubes of American Silver Eagles. That's the amount of silver for the whole year that would be produced. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-numbing. I don't know, guys. What's the big picture here, huh? What's the big picture as we work our way to 300 thumbs up, and the ringing of the gong, that's the big payback. And don't forget the train whistle, that's for 400 thumbs up. We know what Eric Sprott is saying about silver. He said $200 silver, right? Mike Oliver talks about $8,000 gold. And in that environment, given everything going on, just all things remaining equal, not even really considering the unbelievable demand profile for silver versus gold, that we could get $200 silver. That could be a real thing. We got a very interesting new concept from our friend, right, an exclusive from Mr. Ryan, the Irish Brain, and thank you very much for pointing that out. I believe that could be part of the future of silver, loaning out part of your silver for it to be used in applications, and you get paid to do it, but then you can get your silver back at any time. I think that could be a very cool prospect for silver. Electronic silver. Asset-backed digital currencies, right? Regulated, audited, not like Fort Knox or SLV, ETF, or anything like that. No, real asset-backed digital currencies that you can redeem for physical metal also at any time, right? States like Florida are forwarding legislation to make that a reality, okay? It's happening, guys. It's happening all around us. As the clown show that's been the fiat money system is being called to reckon. All right, guys, we got 294 thumbs up. We need 6 more. I got to pull out the old Coin Shop Chris 2-minute timer. Hold on. I'm going to flip it over. That'll give us 2 minutes, basement dwellers. So I have to use this on Coin Shop Chris. He's the only person who talks as much as I do. There we go. We got 2 minutes. Can we get the 300? We got it. I know what Coin Shop Chris is going to say. It worked. Okay, let's get the gong. This is for you. This is for you. Thank you guys for everything. The support, the community. It's awesome. 3 rings of the gong. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Be well. Okay. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you.